Hello, welcome to Story Time with Dr. Tran and his children. Today we will read 100 Knot Bamboo Tree. Once upon a time, there was a rich man who lived on a farm with his wife and a young, beautiful daughter. He hired a young man to work for him on the farm. The young man was an honest and hardworking person. The rich man wanted the young man to work for him for free. So he said to the young man, "If you work for me for free for 3 years, I will let you marry my daughter." The young man was so happy to hear that. He promised to work for the rich man for free in 3 years so he could marry his beautiful daughter. Thinking that he would be able to marry the young and beautiful daughter of the rich man, the young man worked very hard for 3 years. His hard work made the rich man even richer, but the rich man did not keep his promise. He was planning to marry his daughter to another man in the village. On the morning of the wedding day of his daughter, the rich man tried to trick the young man. He asked the young man to go into the forest to look for a bamboo tree that had 100 knots. He said to the young man, "If you can find a bamboo tree that has 100 knots, cut it and bring it here. I will let you marry my daughter. If you cannot find one, do not come back, because I will marry my daughter to another man." The young man believed him, so he took his knife and went into the forest to look for a bamboo tree that had 100 knots. He looked everywhere, but could not find any bamboo tree that had 100 knots. He realized that it was impossible for him to find a bamboo tree that had 100 knots. He realized that his work for the last 3 years was for nothing. He realized that he could not marry the daughter of the rich man. He was so sad. He felt himself crying. Suddenly, an angel appeared and asked him why he was crying. He told him the story. After hearing his story, the angel told him to cut 100 bamboo knots and brought them to him. When 100 bamboo knots were placed in front of him, the angel told the young man to say, "Combine, combine." The young man said, "Combine, combine," as he was told. Magically, all 100 bamboo knots combined to make a bamboo tree that had 100 knots. The young man was so happy. He was planning to carry the bamboo tree to the rich man, but he found out that it was too difficult for him to carry such a long bamboo tree. The angel told him to say, "Separate, separate." He said, "Separate, separate." The 100 bamboo knot separated into individual knots. The young man tied the 100 bamboo knots into 2 bundles. He thanked the angel and carried them to the rich man. When he came to the rich man's house, he saw that it was the wedding day of the rich man's daughter. People were talking, eating, and drinking. He knew that the rich man did not keep his promise. He was going to marry his daughter to another man. The young man put the bamboo nuts in front of the rich man's house and said, "Combine, combine." The nuts combined into a bamboo tree. He asked the rich man to come and see the 100-knot bamboo tree. He asked the man to keep his promise because he had found a bamboo tree that had 100 knots. The rich man could not believe his eyes. He touched the tree to make sure it was real. The young man said, "Combine, combine." The rich man was sucked up and stuck to the bamboo tree. The rich man's in-law stood nearby and tried to help pull him out of the bamboo tree. The young man said, "Combine, combine." The in-laws were stuck to the bamboo tree too. Seeing that, no one dared to touch them because they were afraid they too could be stuck to the bamboo tree. The rich man agreed to keep his promise and let the young man marry his daughter as he promised before. The young man said, "Separate, separate." The rich man, his in-laws, and the bamboo nuts separated. The in-laws left quickly in fear. The young man married the beautiful daughter of the rich man, and they live happily ever after. The end.